at Epicenter, you think that's never gonna work. They win the tournament. Nico is on fire. Kerrigan is playing very good Counter-Strike. Gordian is coming back to life after, in my opinion, 2 to 3 months where it was kind of quiet. So everything's clicking, and then you say, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. They actually figured it out. I'm gonna, shut up, you know? And now they come here, they drop the map to Cloud9. Yes, Cloud9's Cinderella story, but still, the phase that we saw at Epicenter should not lose a map to Cloud9 in that condition. Yeah. So where does that leave us? How are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to analyze phase right now? It's a flip coin. Maybe you have the game where Guardian, Kerrigan is going to play better than usual, Nico is going to be himself. It's beautiful, and then you have the flip side of it.
So what you're basically telling me is that you have no idea.
Oh, I'm saying, don't listen to me. That's the thing. Phase.
It is hard right now to be like, I'm glad I'm casting games not here.
You look at the previous results, Matt. You look at the phase last 4, right? So all year long they've had 12 top 4 finishes, and you think that's astonishing. That's more than Astralis have had this year. But then you look at their last 5 tournaments, exclude Epicenter for a moment. The 4 previous, never a top 4 finish. So you think, oh, there's something wrong here. Yeah. Then we hear rumours, Face It Major, maybe Kerrigan's out, maybe he's not going to in-game lead, maybe he's gone for a game. Then they go to Epicenter and they win.
And there's more than just that cloud hanging over them, because there was a rumor that Olaf wasn't coming back either for a while based on his issues and the hiatus that he was on. And that's when the roster turmoil sort of started. They were on an incredible performance at the start of the year. That hits, it creates instability within it. There's a bit of infighting. Look, I think Kerrigan has one of the hardest jobs as an in-game leader of anyone in the world. Absolutely. Because he's got to balance so many star players, so many personalities that have all in their own right been the best in the world at their respective role, or outright, as the case of Olaf in 2015. And when things go wrong, Kerrigan has a very, I guess, strict sort of philosophy on the game and the way he wants to play it. And it seems like sometimes he doesn't want to adapt, but then you get star players who are saying, well, it's not working, I'm going to do it my way. That's really hard for him. So I think at the major, there was a lot of talk. You know, Nico was in-game leading for a bit. Where was that going to go? I do want to say that the one thing for me in this event, yesterday, Olaf didn't put up huge numbers, but he started to look a little more confident. He was taking a little more fights. I think that to me, I mean, yes, Guardian coming back into it, getting things going again with Kerrigan and keeping the ship righted. I think Olaf getting activated and being able to find impact frags and feeling that confidence is the biggest determining factor.
All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you. Insightful, as ever. Always, you're going to find them on this desk. Time for us to take a break here in Copenhagen, though, but don't go too far away. A big round 4 is on its way.
Trying to get in cold, missing the chance. And Fur goes down, Fallen gets a headshot on Dupree. It's not done yet. The captain is still alive, and he's got the CC out as well. Right on top of him, he's going to go for the shoulder peak. No one defusing yet. Fallen doing it, getting the quad. And Sip, he doesn't have anything. He has to just go for the 10-second defuse. I'm not even sure there's going to be enough time. He has to back up. Somehow Fallen has done it. Oh my God. What an incredible turnaround here. Nobody's in trouble. He's not the first kill turned the Raptors. Well,
they've started letting you know on that one.
That actually goes well, but alas, we've got an auto shotty on the field. We've got rifles in mid. Nice shots from Pasha. He's running out of ammo now, so the sidearm swap 2. There's the 4th, not the 5th. Snatch is going to grab it.
Lately, we talk about the grenade usage already, and it's already coming out a bit here against Pasha, who's hiding inside of the smoke. Davis on the other side, you can see Neo is just thinking about it, but they're going to take the shot instead, and Clay running right through. This is absolute madness, taking down 3 players just like that. Thought it maybe would be the grenade.
And that is a shocker and a half. Where did all of that come from? Look how Calix starts the round. We said he was still alive. The 2 Deags from Paz, and then of course Calix with 6 HP to finish off with more Deagle shots, meat shots in the face, baby. That will make life easier. Wow. Maybe best buys. How about that for Major? The second player. Oh, man.
What on earth is that?
That is OP. And you aren't going to get that every round. You're going to try and save in this situation. He has the bomb. He can try to get some 1 versus 1 with the AWP, just like that. Still winnable. Moving away from the B bomb site now. I don't think anyone's close enough to hear this.
He's going to be so hard to trade. He has 6 HP though. They do have incendiaries. There's one towards Forklift, but that's not on Snatchy. Oh, he spots a leg. Can't quite find it. Across he goes. Now they know exactly where he is. They're starting to charge him down. Snatchy has to be very clutch. Oh, gets the shot in the air. One more to go. And Snatchy, that's fantastic. How has he done that?
Welcome back to the Blast Pros Series Copenhagen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for round number 4. A massive game for both teams. FaZe versus Astralis, and who better to bring it to you than Anders and Moses?
Absolutely right, folks. Anders and Moses over on the A stream, Scrawny and Launders here on the C stream, and we've got ourselves another match with the MIBR that has fallen.
Yeah, we've got MIBR this time versus NAVI, and MIBR are essentially dead in the water in this tournament.
Right.
But the only thing worse than losing and not being able to make finals is losing without getting any points. I think for the fans at home, for the org, for themselves, they want to get some dignity points here. They also kind of control the fate of NAVI, who, if they win this, we're not a team that I considered to get into the top 3, to be in contention to get into finals. But with their last win versus Astralis, which I thought was a map Astralis are going to take, they can still make finals. NAVI are still in this.
It's crazy how much is actually in the air right now, right? We said this after the first 2 rounds yesterday, how the opening day of Blast Copenhagen made all these questions and all of these possibilities. Well, now there's even more questions, because a team like MIBR, they're not entirely dead. The chance is so slim. They need 2 wins, and other teams have to tie. Like, it gets really complicated for them, unfortunately, at the bottom of the totem pole. But yeah, NAVI, this immediate rise kind of out of nowhere. FaZe falling a little short to Cloud9 just in this most previous round. I mean, if we had questions yesterday, there's even more here as we enter round 4.
Yeah, I think the narrative will be how much of a win can NAVI pull off if they're even able to. It's still MIBR. You know, you never know when they're going to come into the server and just frag out, and I think that's going to be a problem for NIP or for NAVI, who find their consistency in being able to rely on Simple and Electronic. That's literally the beginning and end of their game plan sometimes, and their CS is very simple. So I think that does run the risk of, if a team heightens the team aspect versus them, like we saw in the finals of the major versus Astralis, then they'll fall apart, you know. So if the consistency of their individuals is what's most important, yeah, you still have Simple, who seems to be able to drop 30 like no matter what every single game, and Electronic, who's right behind him. But MIBR are no slouches, you know. If you think that Simple is the peak of Counter-Strike ability on an individual basis, then you take any of MIBR's players, they're still at like 90%, 85, 90%, and that's splitting hairs if you ask me.
Way too close, right? Way too close. But then I ask myself, like, individually speaking, are we going to get that consistency out of them? Is it just going to be the Simple and Electronic show? Because I mean, and I still kind of have this gripe with it, Launders, where we saw last round, you know, Zeus picking up an AK over the top of them.
Why does he do that?
Why does he do that?
Why does he do that? There's no point in doing that. That is so dumb. I feel like if you're Zeus, what are you thinking? What, you know, you're not better than them. You literally hired them because they're better than you.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess he came back onto the team after they were there, but that doesn't even give you seniority.
And listen, they still won the round, so what do I really know? But it's this matter of, again,
there's still
consistency.
statistically, if you look at the probability of him winning the round with the rifle over Simple Electronic, it just would tell you that they'd probably win and keep more alive if they gave it to Simple or Electronic. So absolutely no good rationale for why someone should get a rifle. Sometimes you see the weird person get an op, and that's because they have a good spawn and then they keep it for the rest of the round. Last game we saw Tarek pick up an op because he was the only one who could afford it, couldn't even have armor for himself, so there's no sense in him dropping it. And that's the rare circumstance where he will op. But in other circumstances, there's just no, like, for the rifle, give it to the best player, period. And even in that round, he passed it to Edward. So, you know, I could just go off on this, but everybody already has. It just doesn't make sense to anybody but Zeus, it seems like.
Where do you sit with MIBR? Because I'm actually quite shocked with their result here at Blast. I thought, obviously, after Istanbul, you know, they were kind of coming back for contention. They nearly took Astralis. They were 2 rounds away from picking up that tournament. I haven't seen any signs of MIBR being this weak as of late. And now, all of a sudden, here in Copenhagen, at one of the, you know, what seems to be premier events, we've got an utter shortcoming.
So you know what happened with, not to over-dramatize the situation, but the same thing happened with NIP in the first major. So leading up to the first major, they were the #1 team in the world by far, by a mile. More so than Astralis is better than NAVI. Way more. They were just 87-0, all of that.
Yeah.
I think they didn't win they might have won the ESWC back then, but then they had the major coming up. It was their game. They ended up losing to like the 4th rated team, which was Fnatic, and that's like 4 by like a huge margin, right? And that was because they had a documentary team following them to the major. It was a major they were supposed to win. Literally, they believed it. All of their fans believed it. But now this is like a documentary. It's the first thing that's ever happened, like a real TV series about them, and they're chronicling every single game they play. And there's so much expectations and pressure. Here, we see the crowd. They don't give a crap about anybody but Astralis. This is literally. Device said he's never played in front of a Danish crowd before. So he's so excited for this. I have no idea how much pressure they must be experiencing right now. And we could talk about it in the context of like a choke or something. But if there's ever a legitimate reason to be this nervous, it's when you have all of your most dedicated fans in your country at your tournament, and it's one where you are the #1 ranked team on HLTV.
And the Prime Minister just casually shows up. Talk about added pressure. Hey guys, you're going to win, right? And, well, they would have thought so. And I would have thought so as well. So we know that the pressure is certainly on as we move into the beginning of round number 4. We've got, the Astralis game going on the main stage, hopefully, right now?
Also very important, Astralis versus FaZe. They are about to knock each other out of the tournament. So it could come down to this. Astralis need to win both this match and then the round 5 match, which will be versus Cloud9, to be able to win. And we saw FaZe lose against Cloud9 just barely, but it was a 15-5 half at one point. So you definitely think that FaZe are looking much weaker. At least, they both had comebacks, but Astralis had to do it versus NAVI, and it wasn't a given. And so they can, if FaZe lose this match, they're probably out. If Astralis loses this match, they're definitely out. So, very important games.
Yeah, round 4 has suddenly turned into something quite incredible. And I like to really contrast this between Blast Copenhagen and Blast Istanbul.
Yeah.
Because in Istanbul, after the first day, or I think round 3, we had already found out which 2 teams were going to be going into the finals.
And MIBR had it locked in.
Right? We had it so convincing so early on. And now, we're approaching round 4, and there's so many questions still. So I think this is kind of where the format begins to shine a bit, right? There's so much tension and pressure, and we even don't kind of know until we leave this casting room and figure out what's happened on the other streams.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what a treat we're in for at the end of this one.
Yeah, the future is up in the air, and it's great to have NAVI in the mix because they weren't even a team that I predicted to make top 3. I thought it was definitely going to be Astralis, FaZe, and NIP. I actually picked NIP to be #1 in points. They're delivering so far. I actually expect MIBR put up a better fight versus NAVI than they did versus NIP, just because it's kind of like, what the hell, guys? What just happened? Like, yeah, we can lose, but not that badly and be able to justify it.
Right. And we end up on Overpass, I believe. Yes, so Overpass is where we'll be going. This is where NAVI just picked up their win over top of Astralis.
Yeah.
I mean, that in and of itself is pretty impressive, right? Astralis have been looking a lot more mortal when it comes to their Overpass gameplay. I think that's a map where they always were so good, and no longer are they kings, so to say. But there was also a time where FaZe, because of Kerrigan.
Well, I think that actually broke their streak. They had like 8 in a row on LAN or something like that on Overpass. So big win for NAVI, even though it was only the 1 match. Here we are into the warm-up, folks. We've
everybody's
not figured out exactly what is going on. Caster, would you please start the game?
I'm working on it. Okay, I'm pressing all the buttons.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how this whole shebang works out. How about that, Launders?
Button mashing. Wouldn't put it past you.
I found it.
I know you're the type.
I found the button. We're going to give MIBR a round to begin the game with, just so they have an actual chance.
Yeah.
That's a twisted joke. They have no chance.
Okay. So now it's the pistol round, I think. I don't know if they have... Oh, we are still officially in warm-up. We're still officially in warm-up, so... Not exactly sure what's... Oh, wait, maybe maybe MIBR actually snuck a pistol round in before we got vision of it. It looks like they're taking it very seriously. I'm going to go ahead and assume that MIBR won a pistol, and they're on the anti-eco because NAVI are on full alert with low guns. They have some utility to work with. And just as Connor mentioned, this is a map, which is Overpass, a map that NAVI were able to beat Astralis on just now in the last round. And interestingly enough, it's also the map that is being played right now with Astralis and FaZe. So that is also quite curious. Lots of game tape there, but they don't get a chance to review it, which is kind of the good thing. Not going to be too much anti-stratting or stuff going over the average viewer's head. Instead, it's just going to be them trying to play their own game. Maybe think about like how the rounds went, see what sides are weaker, but for the most part, just sticking to what they know. Here's a bit of a standoff as Zeus is in front of a smoke, and Stewie, staring directly at his radar, kills him easily. but only to be traded by Electronic, and they are still not safe in this round.
No, we've got the Flamey Deagle out monster. That's met by another MP9. So the SMG is doing work. And Electronic happens to have an SMG of his own now. That's been retrieved. With the bomb on his back and a smoke in his hand, he's going to try to pull a ruse. That smoke should go all the way up towards A if he had a strong enough arm. All the while, Edward's just waiting for his to fade. Now it's going to be the run out immediately, taking Tarek. There's the damage! Edward and Electronic combined for 2, and they are back into the round ever so slightly. The plant off of the side of the smoke should be good. But the HP here for MIBR is so substantial compared to that of the remaining Navi members.
Yeah, but that's what it was even for those last 2 engagements. You know, getting away with a murder there, but the utility make things a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it's going to section off the last 2. They're going to go for the boost over the top. Oh, and Fur's not going to spot this. Electronic, he needs to make the play. He stuck the defuse amidst all of it. MIBR will win this round.
Just barely. And again, this game could come down to rounds, so to lose one like that is kind of impressive. I feel like there's that was a good boost. I don't know if Electronic actually spotted him. We have spectator smokes, which are on different cycles, so maybe he didn't exactly know or thought he saw a clear bomb site. Got the wrong information, and then that ended up costing them the round. Fur gets the last 2 kills as well. So there's a bomb plant in it for Navi, and MIBR at least take the victory itself. So winning the anti-eco just barely, but it's good enough, I'd say. So we get to move into this.
Ooh, aggressive buy.
As we know with Navi, they like to strike when the iron's hot. If people are low on economy, they will take a risk. Have someone low on guns. Don't know, again, why Simple only has a deagle. Give him the goddamn AK. It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, at least Zeus doesn't have it instead.
Yeah,
you know?
That's Edward.
That's true. Man's been on the up and up. Both him and Zeus, 30 years old.
You put that together, they're retired.
That's true. Yeah, that's a valid point, yeah. It's crazy to me to think that Fallen's only 27 in comparison.
He's 27?
Fallen is 27 years old.
Oh, Fallen. I thought you said Simple. I don't know why.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you know, Fallen can be often caught in public wearing dad jeans. He gives off the aura of being much older than he is.
You're older than Fallen.
Yeah. I'm also wiser and better at Counter-Strike, so in my opinion, it adds up.
I think you've lost it, Launders. But MIBR haven't lost this B site. Not yet, that is. Whoa, we've got the clash between Stewie and Flamey. And it's the former to pick up the kill. Now, off of that, Navi's going to try charging forward. Zeus, with that ump, has been able to cut down one player, and Cold Zera ejects into the water just in time for Fur to connect some shots. But Navi are still successful in their endeavor. Low HP, 15 health combined here between the 2 remaining players for Navi. And Fallen's got the high ground.
Crack open the B site was a good play. Fallen from here. He has to make noise to get down. It's going to be tough.
But if somebody walks into the open, that's one thing. They come around the corners, what look like simultaneously.
Yeah, they wanted to take a peek at Heaven. They timed it extremely well, and even though they kind of slunk out a little bit, it was just enough to make it too difficult for Fallen to figure out what target he wanted to take down first. B site gets cracked open once again, and it was not likely, I think, at this point, after we saw Stewie get his first kill there, and Navi have this kind of busted buy to work with, that they opened it up, but they did manage it. I'm quite surprised. Navi steal one back, and I would imagine that MIBR don't have much money to left over. In fact, it's so little that they decide they need to force. They're going to go ahead and grab some armor, pistols, and a couple of smokes and flashes. Do they have a game plan in mind? Stairs control is on the docket. Couple of players pushed up towards A. Waiting for a reaction.
Oh, they're definitely going to get something. Tarek's ready for it. Oh, there's the first kill. A little bit of disjointedness between the Navi players, and he nearly steals a second. Not meant to be. Fallen comes downwards, and that's the effective trade fragging here to the favor of MIBR. Navi have to go all in on Monster. They've got to push through and through. They're looking to catch a duel and a kill before they do so. But really, be wary. There's 2 AKs up for MIBR. Those are retrieved weaponry. Hot off the black market. Stu lies in wait just beneath the bomb site. Coldzera actually pops one from above, and now Simple's been sectioned off. Sure, he's still got that bomb, so he'll have to double back, and when he does so, Fur is ready. This is a really tough spot for Navi to try to get out from, or into, because again, that flank's so open. Fur's now activated, and that's all it takes. MIBR went around with just pistols.
Interestingly enough, they do it and with the hold B, which looks so rickety in those previous 2 rounds. So I think surprising themselves with that one. I don't know exactly what to chalk it up to. Maybe just the fact that Navi couldn't hit their shots. Trades look maybe a bit suspect. Obviously, Tarek starting off the round with his initial Deagle kill, but there's Fallen coming in for the trade on top of that. So they aren't able to protect the AKs, which is a big deal. And Coldzera, I mean, look at that one dig. That can be where it begins and ends sometimes, especially when it rocks you literally and psychologically. Now it's all pistols on the board for Navi. It is kind of crazy that this is going so back and forth. In my opinion, Navi have looked quite like a lot better than MIBR, winning more rounds or getting closer to winning more unlikely rounds than MIBR so far. But MIBR are falling on their feet. They at least get to now kind of recollect themselves. And I feel like at some point we've got to see the old MIBR. And by old, I mean, you know, last month or even last week, where they looked a lot more consistent, a lot stronger. Not that this map will be easy again. And Navi were able to take down their biggest rivals at the moment on right here just 10 minutes ago.
Poor old Papa Fallen has been put to sleep. Just wanted to sit inside of middle, had no support from the bomb site either. Nobody trade frags that one. Silver lining for MIBR, it's just the ump offered over. So the remaining MIBR members will still have an edge in terms of guns. 40 seconds left up. Navi really playing with their time. Oh boy, late reaction. That's going to cost him a lot of his health. He's down to 17, and he is dropped at that range by a P250.
You've got to take some time to figure that one out, because...
and another body spotted. Coldzera, like, what's going on here? MIBR, they seem cold. They're going to start picking up these pieces here between Tarek and Stu. It's a 2v2, but it's another bomb plant for Navi. This goes into what you were just saying, Mohan, about how Navi are still looking fantastic. They've gotten themselves in all these weird spots. They've been cutting it down into the one-man surviving situations, and that's the case yet again. Tarek has to clutch this, and he has no teammates to work with.
No kits, no nades. He has 1v2, and the only reason he really wants to go for this is he knows he's going up against pistols. But that's been too much. And there it is, the second double peak, the 2v1, the eco round. It's all looking too familiar here for Navi as they steal another one away. And once again, put MIBR in an economically desperate situation. Not enough money for even a single rifle if they want to armor up on that player. And this is such a shame for to die to a P250 from that distance. That's kind of how it all falls apart. And there is so much frustration on the face of Tarek at the moment, and it is totally warranted. I don't know what is wrong with them. I know yesterday Yanko was still jet-lagged. I know they only had, I think, 6 days to prepare together, but I don't know if it's the rest of the team that still is jet-lagged. The first day we saw him, and I can't handle these excuses because all teams are flying in from different places and whatever, and they, they're all used to this. But Fallen on the first day said he woke up at 5 a.m. and that's kind of what happens. But at the same time, we're 2 days away. You get the extra day to get here, then you get the extra day to play, and then this is where you pull it all together. You can't really rely on that. It's not something you would